Hey, good morning, Spencer. This is a quick demo video for you for your Lost Wolf by SP Sabers and Props. My apologies for having this for a little while, but I finally got it done over the weekend on my live stream on Saturday. All right, this is installed with a Proffie. It's got a removable chassis set up by Ollie over at White Cloud Sabers that I'll show you here in a second. It's a 2-button setup, but this is a very unique switch. So this is kind of a rocker switch. It rocks back and forth and it hits your power and your auxiliary when you swing it from one side to the other. All right, you can take this switch out, although I don't suggest it, but it is on just a magnet. All right, I've got your blade plug in here, but we'll go ahead and take this out so that I can show you. I've got a CC Sabers NeoPixel connector in here, right here. You do have the maximum amount of blade depth that you could get in this saber. So there it is right there, that lights up. What you want to do is just come over here and take the pummel off. So we'll do that. Chassis might come out with a pummel, that's okay, but we'll take that off. You'll see your chassis here and you can pull it straight out. This is a very nice chassis set up by Ollie, so I went ahead and I asked him if I could use it. He was cool with it. You got your Proffie board right here. It is just held in with some E6000. So if you want to get to your SD card, you can pull it right up and then put it back down. The E6000 is very good for holding things, but it's also malleable so that you can pull this up without damaging anything. Okay. Use the stock connector. You have a removable battery set up here. Your spring side of your battery is always going to go, or your negative side of your battery is always going to go over here by your kill switch. And you've got a kill switch right there if that will focus in. There we go. And then you're running a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost. This is the elite version of the speaker. All right. You have a secondary chassis piece that doesn't come out. You can see it. Yeah, you actually can't see it because it's pretty dark in there. Let me see if I can shine some light with my phone. There you go. So you've got that piece in there that never comes out. All right. Turn this light off. As I was saying with your switch, you don't want to take the switch out when the chassis itself is out. And I wouldn't take it out anyway. But for this time I will, just to show you what it looks like. It's got that little nub on there. Let me put this down. It's got that little nub on there right there. So one side hits your auxiliary switch and the other side hits your activation switch, and it just rocks back and forth like that. All right, it's got that magnet on the bottom that lines up to that magnet that's right in there, but as you can see, it already came misaligned a little bit when I took the switch out, so I have to kind of just move that over just a hair so I can put this switch back in, which is no biggie, but it's probably just not something that you're going to want to mess with because the chassis on the inside is not glued in. All right, it's up in there. It's really held in place by this switch, so you don't want to take that out. All right, I just wanted to show you the mechanics of it. So we'll set this off to the side. For now, you just have the stock font package on here, so you will need to lift up the board, obviously, to get to your SD card if you want to add fonts. All right, but we'll take a battery and we'll throw it in. Remember, the negative side of your battery goes over towards your kill switch. And then we can come over here and flip the switch. Got the boot up sound, so that's good. Now this chassis can go in the Saber anyway, as long as this piece goes in first, obviously. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll slide that in. A little bit of a snug fit, but that's all right. And you'll push it in until it gets that far, and then go ahead and put your pummel on. Your pummel is what does all the work, so it pushes the chassis forward into those pins. So you just go ahead and make sure that your pummel's nice and locked down tightly. We'll go ahead and turn the slide off and hit activation. When you swing the switch over to the right, you're going to hit your auxiliary button. But when you swing it over to the left, you're going to hit your power. You can do it with your finger, although obviously like this. And then you can just tap or hold down the power to turn it off. Yeah, all right. We'll go ahead and we'll throw a blade in here. I'm going to throw in my TriStar blade from Civilized Sabers, the Space Windu. It takes a 1-inch diameter blade. It has some pretty decent blade depth, so you shouldn't have any problem with that. Go ahead and lock it down. One thing that I found on here when I got this was there are 2 screws underneath this switch plate that kind of hold this shroud on. They were a little bit stripped and it was making the shroud loose. So what I did was I put some, what kind of glue did I use? Some CA glue on the threads, put them back in, locked everything down. So it's holding everything nice and tight now. You shouldn't have any problem. All right, but we got this blade in here. Very cool. The switch section is something that you're going to have to get used to. It's just very unique to this saber. We'll go ahead and turn it off. We'll go to another sound font.
Smooth fuzz.
Another one. Your soundtrack playing is a long press on the power when the saber is off. And to turn it off, it's the same thing. It's a long press on the power when the saber's off. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll take the blade out of this guy. Everything's working in here like it should. We'll go ahead and put your blade plug back in. You do have a little bit of shine through on your blade plug, so I wanted to show you that as well. We'll take that out, put your blade plug in so I don't forget it. You got to shine through in your blade plug there, right? So, all right, and then to take the battery out, of course, we'll just take the pummel off. Now you've got a kill switch on here, so you don't have to take the battery out until it's time to charge it. You can just come over here and flip the switch just like this, and you're good to go. Everything is dead. All right. Let me know if all that makes sense to you, and I can try to get this out in the mail to you today since it's only about 5 o'clock in the morning. All right. Thanks.